So I took the position academic programs associate dean 3 years ago. The first thing I realized is I needed more money and resource to improve the program. The second thing I realized is nobody wanted to give me more money and resource. So nothing new, right? So immediately I decided to reach out to other academic programs on campus and other business companies to begin to develop relationship so that I'm hoping to leverage their resources and then to improve the program. It's been a journey, it's 3 years. We have made some progress and most of the success have come from campus program, but recently we begin to think about how we can apply the same approach to the distance program, online programs. It is all about partnership, and my notion of partnership comes from my understanding, my training in supply chain management. Two companies in the same supply chain working together have some interaction, but they don't necessarily have the meaningful collaboration. They don't share information, they don't make important decisions together. So what we would like to see more is really the integration, physically or virtually integrations. Companies work together, have strategic collaborations, making important decisions together. And that's how we can achieve win-win partnership. A very good example comes from Apple Computer. Apple Computer would invite their supplier to make product design decision together, will make strategic decision together. Apple will go to their suppliers in Asia and then visit their facilities, making the production process decision together. That is a very good example of win-win partnership. So how do we do the same thing? How do we apply the same approach to academic supply chain? So I'm looking at the academic program, just like any regular organization, has to go through this transformation process to produce tangible products or intangible services, starting from the input sourcing decision, goes through transformation process, usually require product design decision, process design, and continuous improvements, and then finally you have the outputs. So looking at this from academic point of view, sourcing would be the recruitments. The product design curriculum, process design would be the instruction, and then assessment. The output would be research, graduates, or business education. Then what I would do is I'm thinking about explore all the possible academic partners, thinking about all the possible collaboration I can develop so that I can support the whole academic life cycle in terms of those different activities. So in the end, I'll be able to develop a matrix looking at how different partners are supporting, working with me in terms of different academic activities, giving me the idea of who would be my strategic partners and what activities in my academic life cycle really require more enhancements. So I want to use very quickly use my advisory council as an example to illustrate the benefits, the function of this type of partnership. I formed academic advisory council the 2 months into the position. At the beginning, for 2015, I only had 9 members. And then over the year, now I have 31 active members, including several companies. I focus on CEO and president because then they can make the decision right away without saying, well, I had to go back and think about, talk to my boss to see whether or not I can do this and do that. So over the years, we have been very successful in terms of getting some good support from those companies. But the key words here to me is I need to have a partnership that is sustainable, can last forever before I retire. I also need to have a partnership that can truly create mutual benefits, win-win. If you cannot create a win-win partnership, the partnership is not going to last for too long. So a couple of things we do, just try to follow this social capital theory. It says if you want to have any meaningful strategic partnership, you don't just talk about it, sit down and talk about it. You need to begin to have some sort of meaningful interactions, get to know each other. Then, once you get to know each other, you have trust. Once you have trust, then you begin to have share a common vision. And that's where you can sit down and talk about strategic partnership. So I try to develop several different mechanisms to do this, including a short sprint meeting just for information, social purpose, and then inviting people to come to the classroom for guest lecture, sending out a newsletter, offering business education. Then in the fall meetings, a longer meeting, we can sit down and talk about some of the more serious strategic partnerships initiatives, on-site visits, and then they also offer some business projects. We are doing some consulting for them using our student talents. So over the years, we have seen, happy to report that this advisory council truly helps in terms of corporate engagements. And what is interesting to see is corporate engagement actually would help student engagements. Ron Jason earlier reported do a nice job in terms of some of the things we are working with the students so that we can get online students to get involved with the program. And corporate engagement, if done properly, directly or indirectly, can also enhance the student engagements. That's currently what we are working on right now. So this is just a quick picture showing what Ron talking about earlier. We took a group of students, faculty and staff, to visit Taiwan for 7 days, not including the flight time. So typically our study abroad is a required course. It's a very beautiful experience. You know, during the 7 days, day and nights, student, faculty, and staff, you truly see how they develop their relationships over the time period. So we visited companies, sister school, and then alumni. So it's a very good mechanism to develop the student engagements. So my learning and my takeaway from this experience is it's always good to have money and resources to do things. But before you are able to win a lottery, partnership is a great mechanism to improve the program. So, thank you.